Good morning, afternoon, and evening. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to Mr. Morrow's Algebra 2 class. Today we're going to continue with integer operations, and we're talking about multiplying and dividing integers. Okay? So the rules for multiplying and dividing integers, believe it or not, are the same for both. Okay? So the rules for multiplication are the same for the rules for division. So let's just get right to it. First of all, gentlemen, a negative times a negative equals a positive. Sounds simple. It is. And I know you guys can reach this in your memory banks because I know you guys all learned this. So negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Now I know you may be saying, oh, why is this so simple? Remember, the basics are how we learn. So that's going to be positive 6. If we have the basics down, we have our foundation down, then we can build a very strong house. For division, it's the same thing, gentlemen. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So negative 10 divided by negative 2 would be positive 5. A negative times a positive is a negative. So negative 3 times positive 2 would equal negative 6. Same thing for division. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. So for example, a negative 10 divided by positive 2 would be a negative 5. Okay? And then, of course, a positive times a positive is a positive. So 3 times 2 would be just positive 6. And of course, for division, it's the same exact rule, gentlemen. It is a positive divided by a positive is a positive. So if I gave you the example, 10 divided by 2, that would equal positive 5. Now, I want you to be careful. Remember that there's different rules for adding and subtracting and multiplying. Please remember that the biggest thing that most people make mistakes on is recognizing whether or not you even have a multiplication or a subtraction or an addition. If there's something in the middle, if there's something in between, then you are talking about addition or subtraction. Okay? If I have negative 5 plus whatever 2, that's just negative 3 because there was something in between the two numbers. But if I were to write it for you in this fashion, gentlemen, negative 5 parentheses 2, well, there's nothing in between. So sometimes, my students say, what do you mean in between? In between? Is there something in between the negative 5 and the 2? No, it's just that parentheses. There's nothing there. So that means they're being multiplied, and that's when it would be negative 10. So this is the biggest disparity that I find. When you guys are working with these, you forget sometimes how to recognize what they're doing, okay? Does that make sense, gentlemen? All right, may I continue? Awesome, thank you. All right, boys. So now, just like we had an additive inverse yesterday, I want to talk to you guys about a multiplicative inverse, okay? And the multiplicative inverse, or reciprocal property as it's called, states that for any non-zero number a, there is one real number, 1 over a, called the multiplicative inverse or reciprocal of a, as described below. And described should be with an S, not an X. That is my bad. And that should be an S. So sorry about that. It's described, no, not described. My bad. And here it is, guys. It basically states that a times 1 over a, or 1 over a times a equals 1. When you multiply any number times its reciprocal, it equals 1. 3 times 1 over 3 is 1. 27 times 1 over 27 is 1. 5 billion times 1 over 5 billion is 1. So any number times its reciprocal equals 1. Let's just practice what that would look like here. And let's notice also, guys, that the a here in the denominator, a cannot be negative. Okay? Because what happens, guys, if a denominator is negative? What is that? Undefined. Very good. Good job. Okay? Remember that a cannot equal 0 because if there is a 0 in the denominator, the value is undefined. It's undefined. So let's just take a real quick look at finding reciprocals. If the original real number is 8, what would my reciprocal be, brother? What would it be? 1 over 8. That's exactly correct. Thank you, my man. How about for the next one? If I have negative 3/5, what would my reciprocal or what would my multiplicative inverse be, gentlemen? Come on, say it loud and proud. Yeah, good job, guys. Negative 5/3. Excellent. And then in this case, remember that we did the additive inverse with this. And with the additive inverse of 2 3/8, you could have made it negative 2 3/8, or you could have turned it into an improper fraction of 19/8 and made that negative 19/8. But when we're dealing with multiplicative inverses, guys, we can't work with the mixed number. If you remember adding and subtracting and multiplying and dividing fractions, when you were multiplying and dividing fractions, you had to convert them into an improper fraction. So in order to find the reciprocal of a mixed number, brothers, you must convert it into an improper fraction, which again we went over yesterday, but I'll just do it again right quick. Remember that it's literally 8 times 2 in this case, okay, which is 16, plus that 3, which gives you 19, over the original denominator of 8. So in this case, you have no choice to find the reciprocal of a mixed number. You must convert it into an improper fraction. And then what's the reciprocal of 19/8? 8 over 19. Yes, sir. You have a question. Let me just mark that. Yes, sir, my brother.
So you add 3 plus 2.
Well, no, you're not adding 3 plus 2. Thank you so much for your honesty and your question, my man. Remember, you're taking 8, the denominator, times 2. That's going to equal 16. 16. Correct. And then that product you're going to add to 3, which gives you the 19 over the original denominator. So yes, in this case, it's 8 times 2 plus 3. Thank you. Great question. Way to go, my man. Way to go. Anything else, guys? We're good with this? May I continue, gentlemen? Okay, awesome. Thank you, brothers. Let's do this. All right, so now let's practice. All right. So, you know what? Let's see. I think we got time. And, yeah, I'd like this. You know what? Instead of me doing it, who wants to come up and do it? All right, let's go. Let's go, my man. No, just do the first one. Do number 1. How about we had a line of 6 people? So here's number 1, 2, come on up. 3, 4, 5, 6, come on up. Get in that line. If you get it wrong, it's no big deal. Excellent. A negative times a negative is a positive. Give me a high five, pass the mark. All right, next. Let's do it. All of you guys should be doing it. Let's go, my brothers. This is a team effort here. Yes. 48 divided by negative 16 is negative 3. Excellent. A positive divided by negative is a negative. Excellent. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Excellent, because a negative times a positive is a negative. Excellent. Good job. Nice high five. Good job. All right, we don't have to do this in our head. Remember, you can show the work on the outside. There's nothing wrong with that, my brother. Yes. Good. There it is. See? Nothing to worry about, brother. That's it. So now, a negative divided by a positive is a negative 13. Excellent, my man. Good job, kid. Excellent. Let's just scroll down here for you a little bit, my man. There you go. Negative 20 divided by 5. It's negative 4. Fantastic. Awesome. Positive divided by a negative is a negative. Good. And last but not least, negative 12 times a negative 5 is a positive 60. Negative times a negative is a positive. Excellent. Does that make sense, my brothers? Thanks so very much. Hope you learned a lot. Y'all have a great day now.